We have been spending the last few weeks looking at this book by Leonard called Mastery, The Keys to Success and Long-Term Fulfillment. And I want to just give a quick summary of mastery. Okay, so the definition of mastery is the mysterious process during which what is at first difficult becomes progressively easier and more pleasurable through practice. Second point is all significant learning is composed of brief spurts of progress followed by long periods of work where it feels as if you're going nowhere. Okay, just a quick summary of mastery. Today, we are going to look at a big problem everyone has when you want to change, let alone change to be a master at something. And we will look at the first of 5 tools to overcome this big problem. So today we will look at why resolutions fail and what to do about it. I'm reading largely from Leonard's words because he writes a lot about this. You resolve to make a change for the better in your life. It could be any significant change. But let's say it involves getting on the path of mastery, developing a regular practice. You tell your friends about it, you put your resolution in writing, you actually make the change. It works, it feels good, you're happy about it, your friends are happy about it, your life is better. Then you backslide. Why? Are you some kind of sloth who has no willpower? Not necessarily. Backsliding is a universal experience. Every one of us resists significant change, no matter whether it's for the worse or for the better. Our body, brain, and behavior have a built-in tendency to stay within or to stay the same within rather narrow limits and to snap back when changed. And it's a very good thing that they do. Just think about it. If your body temperature moved up or down by 10%, you'd be in big trouble. The same thing applies to your blood sugar level and to any number of other functions of your body. This condition of equilibrium, this resistance to change is called homeostasis. Okay, homeostasis. It characterizes all self-regulating systems from a bacterium to a frog to a human individual to a family to an organization to an entire culture. And it applies to psychological states and behavior as well as physical functioning. The simplest example of homeostasis can be found in your home heating or air conditioning system, which is controlled by a thermostat. Okay, so the thermostat is what controls temperature. Okay. Your body contains many more thousands of control mechanisms that keep you functioning. There is homeostasis in social groups like families, companies, organizations, even your national culture, which is protected by the laws, education system, cultural practices, etc. This helps life run smoothly. Okay? It's predictable. Okay? It's in control. But the problem is, Leonard continues to say, homeostasis works to keep things as they are, even if they aren't very good. Let's say, for instance, that for the last 20 years, ever since high school, in fact, you've been almost entirely sedentary. Now most of your friends are working out, and you figure that if you can't beat the fitness revolution, you'll join it. Buying the tights and running shoes is fun. And so are the first few steps as you start jogging on the high school track near your house. Then about a third of the way around the first lap, something terrible happens. Maybe you're suddenly sick to your stomach. Maybe you're dizzy. Maybe there's a strange panicky feeling in your chest. Maybe you're going to die. And I think, some of us, like this one, had that experience, stand-up paddling, vomiting, all this. Okay. No, this is homeostasis. Homeostasis, remember, doesn't distinguish between what you would call change for the better and change for the worse. It resists all change. After 20 years without exercise, your body regards a sedentary style of life as normal. The beginning of a change for the better is interpreted as a threat. So you walk slowly back to your car, figuring you'll look around for some other revolution to join. Take another case involving a family of 5. The father happens to be an alcoholic who goes on a binge every 6 to 8 weeks. During the time he's drinking, and for several days after, the family is in an uproar. It's nothing new. These periodic uproars have become, in fact, the normal state of things. Then, for one reason or another, the father stops drinking. You'd think that everyone in the family would be happy, and they are for a while. But homeostasis has strange and sneaky ways of striking back. There's a pretty good chance that within a very few months, some other family member, say a teenage son, will do something, say get caught dealing drugs, to create just the type of uproar the father's binges previously triggered. Without wise professional counsel, without wise professional counsel, sorry, I've lost the okay. Without wise professional counsel, the members of this family won't realize that the son unknowingly has simply taken the father's place to keep the family system in the condition that has become stable and normal. No need here to count the ways that organizations and cultures resist change and backslide when change does occur. Just let it be said that the resistance here, as in other cases, is proportionate to the size and speed of the change, not to whether the change is favorable or unfavorable one. Okay, so the more radically you want to change, the greater is going to be the resistance to change. Actually, in my own experience is that homeostasis seems to be less strong when it comes to losing a good habit. Okay, for example, exercise. The moment I've been exercising consistently for a long time, but once I stop, it just takes a week on a holiday, and it's really hard to get back. I seem to be able to actually lose a good habit, change pretty fast. Okay, or good habit like writing a weekly journal or a daily reflection, for example, daily email. You could be doing it for some time, and you suddenly, when you drop it, you find that it just drops away so fast. So homeostasis seems to affect seems not to affect good habits. Okay? Diet is another example. So how do you deal with homeostasis? How do you make change for the better easier? And how do you make it last? George Leonard goes on to share 5 guidelines that might help. Now, while these guidelines are focused on mastery, they could also be applied to any change in your life. So I'm going to share just today the first tip or tool, and that is be aware of the way homeostasis works. Okay? Be aware of the way homeostasis works, which is basically what I've been talking about before. Okay? And this might be the most important guideline of all, George Leonard says. Expect resistance and backlash. Realize that when the alarm bells start ringing, it doesn't necessarily mean you're sick or crazy or lazy, or that you've made a bad decision in embarking on the journey of mastery. In fact, you might take these signals as an indication that your life is definitely changing, just what you've wanted. Okay, and I'll pause here. And that's why when people want to do the new skin business, we do the 48-hour training. We quickly do a mindset training, because very soon homeostasis will kick in and they think that they're doing something irrational. Okay. Now, of course, it might be that you have started something that's not right for you. Only you can decide. But in any case, don't panic and give up at the first sign of trouble. You might also expect resistance from friends and family and co-workers. Homeostasis, as we've seen, applies to social systems as well as individuals. Say you used to struggle out of bed at 7:30 a.m. and barely drag yourself to work at 9 a.m. Now you're on a path of mastery. You're up at 6 a.m. for a 5-kilometer run, and in the office, charged with energy at 8:30. You might figure that your co-workers would be overjoyed, but don't be too sure. And when you get home, still raring to go, do you think your family will welcome the change? Maybe. Bear in mind that an entire system has to change when any part of it changes. So don't be surprised if some of the people you love start covertly or overtly undermining your self-improvement. It's not that they wish you harm, it's just homeostasis at work. Okay, so I just want you to be aware, don't beat yourself up. It's something that's very, very real. We all want to do a good thing, but homeostasis is what kicks in. And so we want to learn how to deal with this because you can be a master at anything. Okay. Next week, we will look at some of the other tools, the other guidelines, okay, to overcome homeostasis, other tools for mastery.